Okay, so this afternoon we're going to be making a paperback novel, or at least we're going to be starting to format one. So I've this is a job for me actually. This isn't a client job. It's Friday afternoon, and I've got a bit of time to spend on myself. I've done all the work I should be doing. So over the last few months I've been writing a story based on something that happened last year. Actually, funnily enough. And it's only a 30,000 word story, so it's only a short, and I don't want to go back to my previous publisher, Hodder. I would rather self-publish, I think, through Amazon. Just try. It's only a short story. I've never self-published through Amazon, and I just want to make it look as professional as possible. So anyway, I've written it in Microsoft Word, and I don't want to put it from there over to print. I'd rather transfer it from there onto desktop publishing software, and I use InDesign, and make it look as professional as I can so that it goes over. So the first thing I'm going to do is just set up my InDesign page. Let's just go to print, set my page sizes and the size of a paperback novel by the time it's actually trimmed. I believe I did one not so long ago. It was one that was funny size, 128.5 wide, not 1028, and come on, by about I think it was 198.4. I'm pretty certain that's correct. In fact, that's correct. I know it is. The page margins, obviously, that's going to be my trim size, so that will be the size of the overall finished book. And you hold it in your hand, it will be that measurement. But obviously when you open up the page and you see the text lying inside, it has to, the text doesn't go right up to the edges of the page. You have a margin, and the margins seem to be fine here, 12.7 millimeters, except that I'm going to change the bottom one, so break the link between those and push that up to 16 mil, and hopefully, and I will put some bleed on there. I'm not likely to need any bleed. Bleed is when it goes off. Is it like, for example, when you lay a picture onto a page and the picture goes right up to the edges of the page, you have to have a bleed so that the picture literally you actually goes off the page, but when it gets trimmed down it doesn't leave some silly white mark where the picture should be and isn't. So just a 3 mil bleed will normally do. Oh, and page count, may as well do that while I'm here. 30,000 words is I thought the whole book is not going to be any more than 100 pages, so I'd have thought 30,000 words is probably a bit less than that, but I'm going to give myself 100 pages. I reckon the text alone will be nearer 90 pages. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, let's create that. So there's my page. This red line around the outside is my bleed line. That's my 3 mil. This is my outside border. That's my 128 by 198, and this is my 12.7 and 16 at the bottom. So I've got all my pages there flowing, and down here I can quickly go to there's 100 pages. It sounds like a daunting task, but this really won't take that long to get the text laid in. And all I'm going to do today anyway is put the text in. It will lose the formatting that it gets given by Microsoft's Word, so there'll be no paragraph gaps, so I'll just roughly go through and recreate those paragraph gaps, and then that will give me a much better idea of the page count. But what I'm going to do, I want page numbering on my book. That would make sense, and I don't want to be doing that on every single page I come to, so you set it up as a master. So I'm going to go into my master, click on my type tool, open up a text box, going to type, insert special character, markers, current page number. I've just done this correctly, but I'm going to delete that in a moment because something I need to do first. I just realised, just seeing that, I'm not happy with that. So that font there is probably Minion Pro, which is the default font. So Minion Pro, it's horrible, I don't like that. Rather than use that, I'll just delete that one, go back onto my text box, and I'm just going to change the default to Calibri, which is a more modern looking font, and I don't want a 12 point font. I'm going to use 9.5. Okay, so Calibri 9.5. Now I'm going to open up a text box, go back into type, special character, markers, current page number, and that's a more modern font. Don't want it to be necessarily that size. Now what I did, obviously I gave myself a 16mm margin here. I did that primarily so that I could put this underneath somewhere and have the bottom of my text page finished on that line there. So I think what I'll do is I'll set that to the edge and then run that down to 185mm. There you go, 185mm. So I've got a nice gap, got a 5mm gap going in there. Copy and paste onto the other. Let's just go on to that page, put that in there and drop that down to 1.5. And the only thing I will do with that one is, because that's on the right hand facing page, I'll right align those. And if I just bring the page back, so what should happen now is that for every page, just go back onto the actual document itself. There you go, there's page 1, page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on. So the page numbering is in. I don't really want that much more formatting, so whenever I open a text box, it's going to open it up in Calibri 9.5, which is absolutely fine. There we go, Calibri 9.5, happy with that. I don't need that text box. All I will do is probably have the name of the book, which I haven't actually decided upon yet, and I'll probably put that in on the bottom of every page, or more likely on the top. But for the time being, all I really need to do is to go into my Word document and bring that in and copy my text. So this is my Word document with the story in it, and click there at the very top. It's the first word in the first chapter, all the way down to the bottom. Press shift, and now all of my text is selected. Right click, copy, get rid of that. Let's just go back and click on the text tool, click some on the page and paste it in. There we go. I don't want it on page 7. Go away. Why that's so? Why I did that, I don't know. It's just like go back to page 1 and paste. There we go. That's more like it. Pop that up in the top corner. So in this little box at the moment, I'm supposed to have a 30,000 word story. Obviously that's not going to happen. So let's just bring this down to the size that I want it to. So bring it up to the margins. Just thinking I can't do, there's no point in putting justified text in there. What I don't want is all these little things in here. I just want nicely justified text, I think, going all the way through. So it might be something I do afterwards, I'm not sure. But I'm just going to click on the whole of my story and justify that text. And yeah, it's nice. All right, okay. I've got lots of hyphens in there. I don't want hyphens in there either. So over here I've got the it's going to hyphenate, so I'm just going to select all of my text. If I go to all the pages, you'd see all this highlighted, and I'm going to unclick allow hyphenated text. So that mask free is actually a hyphened word, that's fine, but everywhere else is now being sorted out, so that's good. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the size slightly and click onto the main tool, and this little square cross, if I click in there, you can see I've now gathered a snatch of text. Go down to page 2, click roughly there, and that's the next page. So what's happened, using these in-out tags, I've actually flowed the text from this text box to this text box, and I'll do the same again. So I've got my snatch of text and click up into that top corner. It's all fitting nicely. Do the same again. Let's come back down and keep on going without any gaps, without any paragraph gaps. the chances are this is going to be, if I'm saying 100 pages in total, probably more like 10 pages, probably about 90 pages of actual manuscript by the time it's all formatted. So doing it this way, it'd probably be a lot less, probably be more like 60 pages, I'd imagine, because there's no gaps in the text. So this won't take very long. Keep going. Yeah, because I'm doing this for myself, I just want to make sure that, you know, when I receive a copy of a paperback version of it, that I can show it to people and it will actually look professional. It won't just look like Mickey Mouse did it after a couple of bottles of red wine. And there's no excuse. I mean, if you're gonna spend all that time writing a story, then you know you may as well do a proper job when it comes to preparing it ready for print. And there's nothing worse. I mean, I've got a Kindle, and I've obviously read a lot of books that people like me, just amateurs, have written, and you come across grammatical errors, spelling errors, line errors. And you just think, for heaven's sake, come on, you know, you've written a story, the story might be quite reasonable, you know, but they've got the wrong usage of the words, like there, and things like that, and you think, come on, all you needed to do was give that to a few people to edit for you. And, you know, when I do books, I mean, I don't get involved in the editing, I always give that out, I get it copy edited, line edited, proofread. I normally get it proofread by a good few people as well, and you end up with something that is, you'll very often end up with a few errors, but you'll see them. And the thing is, unless you get it proofread, unless you go through the process of really thoroughly copy editing it and line editing it, line by line editing it, you do miss a lot of things that you would otherwise pick up. And the other tip I would always tell somebody that is writing their book is when you finish it and you're happy that you've done changes to the draft and you've written it out a couple of times the way that you want it to be, stick it in a drawer for 6 weeks. Don't do anything with it at all, and then open it up, then give it a read through. And it's funny, but it will be like reading it for the first time, as though it's somebody else's work, and you'll be critical of it, and you will see errors, and you'll see things that, oh, that doesn't make sense. It'll just see what you wouldn't have seen when you were actually writing it and so involved in doing it. I think there's a saying, isn't there? You don't see the wood for the trees. But that is especially true when you're doing stuff like this. So, I mean, I finished this back in November, December last year in 2020, and I literally haven't had the time to do anything with it, to be fair. I've been busy with client work. And but when I did get this out the other day and read it through, oh, really, seriously, you wrote that? Oh, what a bonker. And I just rewrote, not huge swathes of it, but the ending of it I changed the meanings of some of the chapters, because they just didn't make the kind of sense I wanted it to. I thought they did. And then I put it out for editing and got a load more grammatical errors coming back. And I'm thinking, yeah, I thought I was pretty good on grammar. But again, you get so involved in writing it that and getting your story across that sometimes it's very easy to put a semicolon in the wrong place, to over comma the thing, and so on. There's so many things you can do wrong that somebody else will spot straight away. And there's no point getting precious over it when they go, oh, Andy, that's a load of old bollocks, you shouldn't have done that, you made so many errors, you know, what kind of a writer do you think you are? No, it doesn't matter. The story's there, the story's good. So I'm on page 53. I would imagine I'm probably 2/3 the way through, if not 3/4 the way through. That's 55. And it's quick. All I'm doing is flowing text through. So there probably is an automated way of doing this, but I've never actually bothered to look, and I actually prefer doing it manually anyway, because you catch snippets of the text as you're doing this, and you kind of know where you are. And it's not that bad a task. There we go. I knew I'd do that. Come on, get in there. Just jog where that box should be. I don't want to be doing that. That's right. Okay, where am I now? And there, that's it. I remember that. That is the... And so 67, spot on pretty much, 67 pages. Okay, so I've got all of these blank pages down here that I haven't used, all the way up to 100. So I finished laying in the manuscript text at page 67. I'm going to make a bank. I know it's about 30,000 words. I'm going to say 90 pages. I'm going to say that's what it's going to be when I'm finished. So let's go back up to the first page. And now we're just going to go through, and it's quite quick. Obviously I know my own story, and I'm literally just going to go through and drop the paragraphs out. There we go. And this will actually stretch, obviously stretch the story. Don't need to put anything there. Beyond 60 whatever it was pages. And I'm making a little bet on myself, it's going to be about 90. Don't want a single line, never have a single line at the bottom of a page, but this is only a rough edit, so let's not worry about that right now. Here we go, let's keep going. So when I've done this, and I'll finish once I've literally at the end of this, what I'm doing now, I'll save it out as a PDF, and bugger that one. I'll save it out as a PDF and then read it all the way through, and you can very quickly see where you are then. That's good. And nowhere, again, can't leave a single line like that down at the bottom. Getting a few of those by the looks of it. It's happening on every blooming page at the moment. Go away. It doesn't make any odds, it's just annoying that it's not falling nicely without having to do any more work to it. Again, that's another... They call them stranded lines, widows and things in the official lingo. Widows and something else I can't remember. Okay, I keep on pressing the wrong one. Go back there. So I'm on to, I'll look at the bottom of this page in a minute. Yeah, that seems to be it. See, this is really quick, although it might take a long time as far as anybody watching is concerned. This is a really quick process, and it's just enough just to show you, just give you some indication of what the page fold is going to be like, page count is going to be like. Look, again, another single line. Ah. So I'm only on page, what, 13, 14? Okay. Get in there. Thing is, you do have to concentrate. It's not, it's, if you know what you're doing, it's quick, but it is concentrated. And it, you know, you can imagine it's quite easy to bugger it all up. And then, why did I do that? But I enjoy writing. It's kind of a hobby, and the problem is it takes time. So if you start something, you want to finish it because you started it, but when work gets busy, then it can be a long time in coming before you actually get something to a stage where you're happy with it and prepared to give it to somebody else to read on your behalf and proof it. I started a novel back in 1995. Yeah, 1995, and it still hasn't. The whole synopsis is there. All of the story is there in theory. It's all written down, but I think I've only done about 5 chapters because it's actually quite. It's a good story, to be fair. It would be a good story if I ever finished it, but I know that to finish it, I would need to literally go away somewhere and spend 6 weeks on my own to get it done, and that is not likely to happen any year soon. So it's just that's just the way it goes. I mean, this was manageable because it was an experience of mine from last year, and double line, and it's semi-factual, this book. Actually, I don't want all of that gap in there either. I'll leave a double. It's semi-factual because it's stuff I researched and found out, mixed in with a good amount of fiction. But it's a good story. I've just got to work out what I'm going to call it. I'll probably lie in bed and churn over in my mind. Should it be called this? Should it be called that? And I'll probably think of something brilliant, then go to sleep, wake up in the morning and completely forget what it was that I thought I was going to call it and start the whole process again. It's a good job we've got Alexa upstairs in the bedroom as well. Alexa, remember this. Does Alexa do that? Okay. So I've got a news item come in. Heathrow Airport to set up dedicated facility for passengers arriving on direct flights from red list countries. Yay! Got a double space. So my eyes haven't moved from what I'm doing at the moment, so I'm not even sure what page I'm on, but 27. I'd imagine at the end of this page I will go down to the bottom and just see. So you finished laying in this text on page, I think it was 67, so I'd imagine we're probably all the way up to about 75 by now. Let's just have a quick check. Okay, so there's 67 where we finished. I need to add a few more text blocks. There we go. I'm going to say page 75 we're probably up to by now. 71. Don't disappoint me. Come on, I'm going to be right. $73. Okay, I was wrong. Not far off. What was I up to? About there, page 27. Yeah, right. So continue from here. It'd be good to get this done. So I was going to do this yesterday, and then I had a couple of emails come in. Can I just do this? Can I just do that? Can I actually build this? Can I actually put a form on there and do this web edit there? And the whole day was taken up doing simple web editing tasks for customers, basically. And then there was this morning, I got up thinking, oh, you know, it's Friday. Come on. We're getting there. Another widow. I'm not sure that's a widow, or whether it's a widow at the top of the page or a widow at the bottom. I can't forget. Do you know what? I just do the job. I don't use the publishing lingo. Kind of leaves me cold. I'm not interested. I'm not a printer as such. I prepare the stuff. So what have I got here? I've got some bullet points that were part of Microsoft Word. So I'm not going to get rid of those because they will be useless. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to there, and add my own bullet points. And then bring that formatting in to point 11. There we go. Kill that. And another one. All you do, you can very gently, you can close these gaps, the spaces in between the lines, or you can increase the spaces in between the lines, or you can tighten the spaces in between these words, or you can increase them. And you can do it in such a way that you'd never notice that it's been done. But what it does, it would kill that line and send that line back up into that text. So you can see there's a big spaces in here where this is justified, and you can just tighten that up just a little bit, and that will then take care of that. That will then run back and finish on that bottom line as it is supposed to do. But I can't stand it when people, you know, when I see something, when I give a client, for example, an example of my work, it could be a website, it could be some photography or a video, and I know that there is a fault with it that I'd spotted after production, and I'm thinking, I really didn't want to be showing you this, you know, because if I've spotted an error, you're bound to spot the same error. It just doesn't reflect well if you're trying to pick up business. I mean, these days I don't necessarily get my hands that dirty. I tend to consult more than do the work and have a team of people that I sub work out to who get that done for me, which leaves me free to go and speak to people and get business in. But I do enjoy. I don't want to forget and lose all the skills that I've spent a long time building up. And I can do this. That's a load of text, so I think I'll rethink that. I might inset that, but I don't think I'll worry about that right at the moment. I say text, it's speech, I mean. And same again. So those text areas, I'll probably inset them slightly into the page, but I'll revisit that. Yeah, so they were performed. That's just what I've done there. Yeah, so we create websites, we manage and host websites, we do all the associated work, logo work and full branding and logo, and that's graphic design. And we do. And like take a particular business, if they're doing a show, we would do all their show material, their banners, hoardings, brochures, and everything from business cards to letterheads to 20-foot high banners and so on. Do their online marketing, do their website, which is what we do, and so on. And then recently, I've been doing photography and video for a long time. But we do promotional videos, we do photography, and kind of moved sideways using photography into 360 virtual tours, and they are brilliant. A bit like when you go onto Google Street View, where you can turn the camera to go and turn around on the street and look in every direction. Well, that's a 360 virtual tour, but we do it inside schools and hotels, restaurants, shops, private houses, although not so much, because that normally means working through estate agents, and I don't like working with estate agents. But that's since COVID came along, 360 virtual tours especially have become really quite popular, because of course people genuinely want to promote their business and promote where they are. They can't have people specifically around to visit, but they don't want people forgetting where they are anyway either. So that's worked really well. But years ago, I launched a magazine with a chap, and we did quite well with that, to be fair. So that was where I learned how to use desktop publishing software, although Passport Express, no, what was it called? God, so long ago. I've been using InDesign for desktop publishing for a long time. I can't even remember how long. But before I was using InDesign, I was using Quark. Of course it is. Yeah, Quark Express. God, how could I forget? I was working on Macs. These days, 99% of my work is done on PC, because Adobe literally, I've got some good monitors here. I've got a whole bank of monitors in front of me here and another bank of monitors behind me, and to be honest, they're as good as anything that I've had working with Mac, and I can't afford to go out and buy 3 or 4 Mac Pros at silly money a piece. I think I priced one up. It was going to be about 12.5 grand to get a Mac to the standard that I would want it. Nah, why would I want to do that? Here we go. I think I'm coming to the last section which will be a relief for everybody, I'm sure, because this is nearly over. All I'll do is save this out as a PDF, and then that sets me up for the next time I revisit this. And I think the next thing I've got to do on this is I've got to seriously think of what I'm going to call the thing. Refine all this formatting, because this is literally just rushing through creating paragraph spaces again, creating the paragraphs again. But I've also got to do all the cover design and put all the legal text in there as well. And I know I've got a busy week next week, so I'm not entirely sure when I'll revisit this, but this is something I've been meaning to do, and it's done, and I've just buggered up that one. There we go. That's text, I mean speech. Here we go. Please, I want to get to the end. This is even boring me. Yeah. But in real terms, if you think about what it's going to be, and it's going to be a book that you can sell and you can give to somebody to read, you know, it'd be nice to give somebody something that looks professional, looks as though it's been done properly and had time spent on it. And it does. It will have done. I notice Megan Malarkey has written her book, The Bench, and that's obviously going to become a bestseller and clearly going to make her millions of dollars. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay. I know the effort that went into writing my 30,000 words and getting it done, and I am very aware of how these celebrity books are generally made, and whether she sat there herself and literally wrote it and checked it and drafted it a couple of times before she was happy with it, I would it may well have done, but I would highly doubt it. I would fully expect that she had the poem or whatever it originated from, and she would have handed that over to a writer who would have then developed that into the story that she's now selling as her own book. That's very often kind of what happens. C'est la vie. I'm not as famous, I'm not as rich, so I can't really expect to get that benefit, can I? But again, I will get the satisfaction in knowing that I have actually done everything myself. I will have written it, I will have edited it, I will have laid it in and made it into a book. The only process I won't have done is the physical printing. There we go, I'm up to page 73 and I've run out of text boxes, so let's just create some more. I'll flow the text on. Come on, I didn't collect. Onto that page. Onto that page. I must be getting up to, is it page 80? Yeah. So I'm nearly there, because I'm banking on this being no more than 90 pages, and looking at this I might have overestimated that as well. I think it's going to be nearer 88 or 89 looking at where I am on the story. I'm just reading snatches of story as I'm doing this. I don't think there's that. Yeah, so I'm up to page 83 with that. let's just go back. Right, so I'd gone to that point there. Okay, let's carry on. So I've got another section of stuff here, 1, 2, 3. Right, I can do 1, 2, 3s, I can do bullet points, but I think I'll inset one from the other. So what I'll do is 1, 2, 3. Is that it? Is that all there was? I can't remember. Is that what there was? It was 1, 2, 3 ABC. Okay, yeah, cool. Let's do that again. 2, 3, highlight those, and let's go 1, 2, 3, take them into 11, and then I've got ABC. I don't have an ABC. I've got to change the thing to do that, so I'll probably just let's just like, for the time being, I'll move those in and then reset my counters, drop that line. And then by the looks of it, I've got a series of bullet points that come off the ABC. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'll put those into probably level with those, and then that'll move that text. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good start anyway. Let's get rid of that one. That's speech. I am very aware that this is probably really the most boring video in the world, but it is real time, and I am actually producing something that's going to be in print, so this is really a stage along the way of production. I'm better now, yeah. I can see reading snippets of this as I'm going. I am getting there. I am nearly there. Click down the wrong spot. Yeah, I'm nearly there. Not much more to go. That's page 81. I reckon I'm still saying, I'm saying 88 pages to 89 pages in total of text. And I got another 1, 2, 3. I'll do that now. 1, 2, 3. Let's pop those bullets in and bring that forward to 11. Kill that one. Okay, that's page 83, so I think this is going to be the final time I'll need to do this. Let's just see, that's 84. I want to be short. that's 85 pages. So it's only going to be about 86 or 87 pages then. Oh well, fair enough. Page 86. 86, okay, so I overestimated it by about 4 pages or so. So it's definitely going to finish on this page. There we go, job done. Okay, so all the way through, so that took me up to page 86. Right now, I don't know how they'll print these, probably 4 up. So you need to have enough pages to be divisible by 4, I'd imagine. I've got a cold cup of coffee now. No, we are still okay. Cope with that. So I think what we'll do, we will export that. CX May 2021. Just saved it off the desktop, I think. View PDF after exporting, high quality print. Yeah. I'll put marks and bleeds on there for the time being. I won't need them. If you're going self-publishing, then they actually don't want them. Amazon, I mean. There you go. And that's basically, and this doesn't get printed, so the actual trim lines are here and here, there and there, or in fact, yeah, that's the bleed line there. But that is the book laid in very roughly, giving me a good idea with little stranded lines, but it gives me a very good idea of the actual page count that I'm working on, and then I can work around that. I can drop paragraphs down, I can set right hand pages for new chapters and so on. So I think probably if that's at page 86, you probably are going to add in a couple of extra pages. It probably will go up to about 90 pages by the time everything's been set on the correct sides of the page and done neatly. So I just saved that, and I think I will say goodbye for now.